What's up guys, it's Powerr coming at you here with my first video guide solely based on the Commando. We're going to have our premier Commando Glory, leader of matches, here talking to you guys about the specs and viability in both solo and group play. So he's got some cool in-depth information on the class you're going to want to hear. So let's get straight into it. Make sure you guys follow my Twitch, my YouTube, and my Twitter, as well as the other matches players. Help support us, follow our cause, and let's get to it.
Right. First, assault specialty, or assault specialist. Basically, that whole thing, it has dots on it, but it primarily focuses on, it's a more mobile spec. So you're able to dot up the opposition. You use a high impact round, which is an instant cast that requires them to be burning. Crit chance on it, you have possible ways to refresh it, and then you have basically an upgraded sticky grenade. That build, since it focuses more on burns and it makes your auto or hammer shot stronger, you can basically keep instant cast going. Now, to optimize DPS, you still have to be stationary, but it gives you the ability to actually fight on the move. To mention your burdens slow them, so it actually gives you kind of an ability to kite if opportunity presents itself. Full gunnery is still, in my opinion, the absolute worst dueling spec because it's easily locked down and doesn't really have much of a fallback plan. It's DPS and it's a turret. There's really no other way to say it. So it has good DPS, it has good burst DPS because of the final point ability, as well as charged barrel, which increases the damage of my high impact round. Ideally with that build, you basically just want to keep DPSing as best you can with grav round, and then throwing out full auto every single time it procs. Full auto is stronger than grav round when it procs. And for burst, you just want to demo and high impact round, and in some situations, if you can, you throw a sticky grenade beforehand, but you can kind of time the explosive. And the other big advantage of that one is it gives you more knockbacks, so it gives you a bit more utility in group play. Like I said, though, still 1v1, it's the weakest spec by far. Next is the hybrid between combat medic and gunnery. In a nutshell, it gives you all of the healing capability of combat medic, besides the instant cast heal, which costs no ammo, and besides the increased crit damage dehealing, or crit healing, whatever. Point being is that spec doesn't heal as well, and it's not as mobile because of the interrupt. So if you try to use that spec as a full healer against any competent DPS that actually interrupts you, you actually have no heals at all. Oh, you will get bursted and you will get killed. But it's a great solo spec because it also gives you the ability to damage. Now, when I say quote-unquote gives you the ability to damage, it gives you the ability to spam grav round. So you can still spam grav round while still having the ability to heal. Now, that's, in my opinion, the best dueling spec because you can spam grav round on the opposition. You'll have, trauma probes, so that puts on you and it heals every time you're hit. Also have some of the other perks of the healing tree that increase your survivability. If you start to get low, you can pop your shield. You're uninterruptible, plus 20% healing on yourself, and you basically heal up to full, and then you resume the fight. So you can kind of interrupt. So if they were to, for example, kick your grav round, you have a backup, you start healing. If they kick your heals, you have a backup, you start grav rounding. So it basically keeps 100% optimal uptime. Problem with that build, you should never, under any circumstance, ever kill a healer. Because you have no burst, you have no interrupts, there's no reason you should ever kill a healer. So it's good for dueling, and it's good for going into Battleground solo if you just want to have a decent spec that can kind of do all things. For killing a healer or team optimization, I actually think it's the worst spec. And then last but not least is the full healing tree, in which you gain the additional instant cast ability. Now this tree, of course, if you're focused, or the instant cast ability, besides giving you some burst healing, it also makes you more efficient because it costs nothing, so you can kind of time it with your other ammo shots. That tree doesn't really have much DPS at all. Its DPS is charged bolt, which is similar to grav round, but not exactly the same. But basically, what you can do is you can wait until you build a supercharged cell. So with that build, every time you heal, you basically start building up charges. Once you build up 30 charges, you're able to use it, which not only does it increase your healing capability, but it also increases charged bolt, your cast time ability, by making it 10% more damage and free. So you can basically wait until that happens, pop your cooldowns with it, and then start single targeting with charge bolt. With that ability though, or with that build in general, I don't recommend doing very much single target damage. I would focus almost entirely on healing, and then just AoEs every time your AoEs are up, because your commandos still have the best AoEs in the game. But like I said, in dueling, that spec is basically outlasting the opponent. You should be able to beat almost every class that can't heal. Classes that give the healing commandos the most trouble, or should give the healing commandos the most trouble, are operatives, assassins, the DPS assassin, and then watchman, or I guess I don't know what it's called, the watchman equivalent of sentinel. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Great, thanks, man.